Good afternoon, everyone. On my bench today, something kind of small and ambiguous. A little daughter PCB circuit board with a few buttons, rotary switch, and a couple of connectors on the back. The issue with this, let me zoom down in, is this little connector right here. This came from a friend. I think this is what I was out of some kind of battery management system for his RC cars. And it looks like it has a connector for, I think this is to the main board, and I think this one is for an LCD screen. But you can see it's cracked right there, and he wasn't able to get it bodged together. So he sent it to me. Our goal today is to remove that one, hopefully without any damages, and solder on a new one. So let's switch over to the microscope and see what we can do. All right, under the microscope now. This is as high up as I can go on my, I don't even remember what model this is. It's some kind of recording microscope, whatever, beside the point. As high up as I can go, but it's pretty close on the screen. Just looking on my workbench here for my flux. Here we go. I'm gonna crank my hot air gun up just a little bit. It's on about 350, 6.5 airflow. Let's put a little glob of flux around this first. That looks pretty good. It's enough. And I'm just gonna fast forward me trying to get this off. If it melts this connector, it's not an issue. If we see it's not melting it, it'll be make it a little bit easier because it means I can use hot air to reflow the new one on. If it does melt it though, there's another technique you can do. It should be pretty easy. So let me just fast forward me taking this off. All right, so that came off nice and easy, as you can see. It didn't even melt or anything, so it should be easy to get a new one on. While this is still kind of warm and the flux is still on there, I've got my soldering iron heated up. We're just gonna get in here and clean up these pads. You can see, yeah, see how it's kind of matte and kind of weird over on the left side? That's definitely the super glue. I'm gonna try and see if I scrape it with my clean tip of my soldering iron, if it'll bring it off. Yeah, it definitely seems like the heat is able to, ooh, it stinks too. Scrape that off, just turning it a little better angle. That seems like it's working just fine. Definitely don't breathe that smoke in. Bring it to the cotton bud. It's amazing what, 500 plus degrees of heat will do to the glue. Let's see if it'll chip off. Oh, that doesn't have anything to it, but I just need it to, there we go. Just lightly scrape it with my tweezers. Yep, chipping it right off. Doesn't need to be perfect, but I definitely want to make sure that it kind of sits flush. And that's working. And it's not taking the solder mask off or anything. All right. Most of it. Got most of it. Let's get the little piece here and then down here as well. All right, cool. And then a little bit of solder on that pad, so I'm gonna clean that one up as well. Take that off. All right, where's my wick? Right in front of me, of course. Just missed one right here on the edge. There we go. Much cleaner. And clean it up again. Beautiful. Alright, now to make this a little bit easier, instead of tinning these pads with just some solder, I'm going to use some solder paste. Just clean off my, ooh, that's nasty, my tweezers. I don't have one of those solder paste guns, or it's not in the syringe. I got a little tube of it, a little small container. So I'm just going to kind of pull out a very tiny amount and use my tweezers to lay some very thinly across these. That's probably enough for all of them. And then just work it over to the rest of the pads. It's okay if it's a little bit messy right now. All right, I'm just gonna let it keep going while that's cooling down. It might be a little loud. So that all came together pretty smoothly, but if you look back here, there's a little bit of a glob or a bridge over on the right side. To take my soldering iron, heat it up, and pull it away. It'll help if I add some flux to this. There's a glob in the middle as well. Get a little bit of flux in there. So take my soldering iron, bring it over that, and pull it away. This one right here in the middle too, heat it up, pull it away. Wipe it off. There's a lot right there. So heat it up and pull away. And just a quick inspection. They all look pretty darn good. It's a little bit off, but it's not gonna make a big difference. Just looking at these ground points here. I'm gonna add a little bit more solder on these edges, definitely over here as well. It's enough to hold it in. But just I'm gonna do a swipe on all of these to make sure they're reflowed and sitting down on the pads. So they definitely are. All right. Just looking for my solder. There we go. So I can get these points on the end. They definitely look like they're being held in, but I just want to make sure we flow enough in there that it's nice and strong. Just like that. Flip it around to this one here. A little bit more. There we go. I'll melt that connector just a little bit. Should be fine. Yeah. Still pulled in and out, no problem. All right, cool. Cotton bud. Well, let's clean up all the flux. Get this nice and clean, looking much more presentable before I send it back to my buddy. Okay, quick look. It is a little bit off, but none of the pins are touching the adjacents. And they're all on there nice and clean. Okay, so I think this is good to go. I have no way of testing this because it's not here. He just sent me the daughter board. So I'm going to get this packed up and sent back to him, and he'll let me know. But from what we can see right here under the microscope, yeah, all of the pins are touching the pads. They're all soldered in place, and none of them are bridged out. So cool. Hope you all enjoyed this nice quick little video. It's an easy little fix if you've got the right equipment. I'll close it out now. Thank you all for watching. Take care, good luck, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.